Yo, what's going on, man? It's your boy A. Smith. We got Mason. This is Straight Sports Talk, and we got a special guest in the building, man. We got Brandon in the building from RavensFlock Talk. That's correct?
Correct.
Right, man. So, we here to talk about the Ravens post draft wrap up, man. How you guys feeling? You know what I mean? How y'all feel about the draft overall? How you
Definitely a solid draft for sure. Solid draft. Some guys that Eric picked. I feel like that were steals as usual. So as we always say, we trust in DaCosta, and I think it was a very very solid draft overall.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Our scouting team, our scouting department does a good job, and Eric DaCosta, once again, man, I feel like he hit it out the park. We're gonna get a lot into the draft, but before we get started, we do have a special guest. I just want to give him the floor to kind of talk about his podcast, his show, and just his opinion as a Ravens fan. Is he a realist? Does he wear purple glasses, Ravens fan, or is he a realistic Ravens fan? What kind of Ravens fan are you, Brandon?
Yeah, so I mean, just a quick little backstory. I've had my podcasts with my dad. This is the third season we've done it. So the first season was when we blew it against Tennessee. So each episode, the final episode, really always ended in a heartbreak. But yeah, we are just realist fans, man. We say it like it is. Sometimes it's controversial with our opinions on who we like and dislike, but that creates more conversation, So we've been through the rough times, the good times, and we will always just keep it real, with our opinions. And but we're always open to listen to, and change our minds and perception of this team and the players, especially the coaching for sure. But that's just a little backstory on our podcast. Yeah.
Okay, that's good, man. Sounds good, man. It's always good. And you speak on that Tennessee heartbreak. Oh my goodness, man. You just gave me flashbacks, man. But the Ravens have that was how many years ago? Maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago, however many years ago that was. The Ravens have gotten a lot better. Some don't agree, but a lot of us do. And it starts with drafts like these. So I just want to ask you, Mason, we talk off camera, but what's your overall thoughts of the draft, just overall, before we get into it?
Let EDC cook. Let him cook.
Yes,
I ain't gonna lie, man. Outside of like a few misses, like early on when he first started drafting, maybe like a wide receiver or two, that man be cooking, bro. I like EDC. You get what I'm saying? Like, it is one thing that I thought was weird. Why we get a safety? Is something going on we don't know about? That last pick was kind of weird to me. I thought we might have doubled up on a running back or, another wide receiver or even a lineman. But safety was kind of like, all right, I ain't mad at it. But do we really need to use that last pick on a safety with Marcus Williams and Kyle Hamilton balling like they balling? Or is something we don't know about Marcus Williams?
Well, what I like to believe, if you pick a player that late, you don't necessarily expect them to come in and like be an instant contributor. But at the same time, I think it's something that the Ravens might see in them to make them pick, because they usually go by, they got a big board, and whoever's the best available on that board, they pick them. And plus, one thing this draft has showed me is that I might need to watch college football a little more, because a lot of these guys, I had no idea who they were. Like, I never even heard of them, never seen them. You know what I mean? Like, even with the Nate Wiggins pick, I never even I didn't know much about him. Because everybody wanted Kool-Aid. So, when Nate Wiggins got picked, it's like, who is this guy? And then once I started to learn about him, I'm like, okay, but you bring up the pick. What's his name? The 7th round pick, the safety. Was that the last pick, or?
Yeah, that was the last pick.
So Brandon brought up a very good idea. We wanted to dissect the draft, but we wanted to start from the 7th round up into the first. So I guess we can get started with that pick. And what's his name? Let me see.
It's hard to pronounce.
Yes, man. I'm not gonna try, bro.
Brandon might
We
got
just
it.
I think it sounds like Sanasu C. Kane. I have no idea either.
Close
The R
enough.
one, tongue twister.
Sorry,
I'm
bro.
just
We ain't mean to mess your
I'm
name
gonna
up, but close enough.
throw him up here just in case. This kind of out of order, but if you can see the seventh pick, I think that's 250, and that's the safety that they drafted. So I'm not too familiar with him. What team is that? Purdue.
Purdue, yep.
Purdue. I'm not too familiar with him, but let's speculate. What will be the reason, in your opinion, that EDC would draft a safety? Like, what would you think that can help the team? Like, how do you think that can help drafting a safety?
I'll go first. I really just think it's a depth thing because, I mean, let's just be honest here. Williams has not been reliable in terms of his health. And you always say the best ability is availability. Well, I mean, him and Marlon, it's like you cross your fingers if they're going to stay healthy the majority of the season. And some of these guys, too, in the later picks could be special teams guys. So that's always an option, too. So I just think it's a depth thing, and I don't mind it. I mean, he really went heavy with the defensive backs, with the two corners and the safety. So we'll see. It could be a diamond in the rough, and with Williams with his injury history, I don't mind the pick, to be honest with you.
Well, Maul just came on. I'm gonna add Maul to the stage, and then I guess Mason, you can give me what you think. But that's a great point, Brandon. I like that a lot. Like depth reasons, Marcus Williams has been dealing with injuries, and plus, if you can remember, Geno Stone was a late pick, right? He was a later pick.
Yep.
I think maybe 6th or 7th round or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a value pick, and again, I agree with the special teams aspect of it as well. So that's a great thought. What's up, Ma? How you feeling, bro?
Was good, fellas. Hey, man, I was just backstage listening to y'all, man, and I seen something that was saying like we've been doing pretty good with the late round safety picks, man. They show like Chuck Clark, Deshaun Elliott, guys like that we done brought in the later rounds that was pretty decent ball players for us, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Ravens, what they do well and what they always done well, in my opinion, is just finding value versus the pick at the position that they pick. And they always seem to get guys that can come in. They might not be superstars, but even it takes them a few years to develop into something. They always get guys that can develop and contribute in some way, shape, or form. So that's definitely a plus. How you feel about that, say, Mason? Do you agree or disagree? You have an opinion?
I agree with Brandon though, and I mean I agree with what all of us probably pretty much saying, but Brandon was like, it's a depth thing. You feel me? And I'm looking at his measurements right now. He's a 6 foot, 215-pound safety. That's not a little boy. You feel me? That's a grown man. You get what I'm saying? So he's from Harlem. So he got some of that aggression up in him, not no stereotypes, but I got Harlem friends, you feel me? They all a little aggressive in a good way, So I think he gonna play like a Raven, man. Like Ravens only find players that got that dog in them, bro. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That one specific thing that makes us be like, oh, he's a Raven. Like so I'm pretty sure he probably like a. Because I ain't gonna lie, I don't know too much about him. And I think me and Brandon had this conversation too when we was like, we don't really know too much about college football.
Yeah, I know nothing about college football. Nothing.
But yeah, I think it was a, like he said, it was a, a depth chart type of thing. And I don't think it's bad. I'm not mad at it or whatever like that. But
yeah. It's, one of those high reward, low risk things. I mean, you either gonna end up off the team or end up a great player. So it's not like we reached like Atlanta did. But whatever. That's a whole nother story. But with the pick before him, Nick Samak, it's Michigan State. Comes from a prestigious school in Michigan State. Where you got to pull the measurements up on the center. Like later rounds, man, it's more so about depth. And I think anytime I think linemen are like pitchers in baseball. You can never have too many. You know, you can never have too many linemen. That's something that has been affecting us for a while. It's just and one thing the Ravens do great, and I want to give them credit for, is finding plug in anywhere linemen, like guys that can line up at left guard, left tackle, right tackle, dudes that can line up all over the like Swiss Army life, like Makari and even Falele
Pat
lined up.
McCall.
Ben Cleveland, yeah, yeah, Ben Cleveland lined up different places. So they find guys that's versatile, and I think this was another one of those picks. I don't. If you ask me who was our second string center, I wouldn't know. Like I wouldn't know. So just later rounds are more so about depth. How you guys feel about that? I'll start with you, Brandon. If you feel any way or have any input.
I mean, my go-to when it came to this draft, I rushed to PFF, and our overall grade is an A-. So obviously,
Okay.
year after year, Ravens are always up there with the overall grade. But looking at even the players we signed after the draft and during the draft, I'm surprised we didn't go more on the offensive line. We got this guy that we just talked about, Nick Samak from Michigan State, and we got the tackle in the second round. But with all the people that have gone, from Morgan Moses to Zeitler to John Simpson, I thought we were going to go a little bit heavier in the offensive line. But I mean, who am I to say? I have no idea. We could get somebody after the fact, but like you said, it's a depth thing. It's just I still am kind of leaving this draft wondering, like, is our offensive line really up to par like it should be? Especially with Lamar back there, with the possibilities. Besides this past year, he's been hurt, So it's always scary, but I trust them. And I mean, that was just my one big question mark. I would have thought they would have went heavy, because I actually, for the first time in years, was like, I wouldn't be mad if they went first round offensive lineman. I really don't. It's not the sexy pick that everybody wants, but I think Wiggins fits perfectly. It's just, I was like, second round, they definitely have to pick some tackle or guard or something, in which they did. So I'm not too crazy about getting on Eric and anything in that way. I was just like, only 2 linemen. I would have thought we would have had at least 3, maybe 4. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, in that coming into the draft, that was a lot of our sentiments, feeling like we definitely need to repair that line. So I agree. Like, we are on camera all saying that we wouldn't be mad at them drafting their lineman first with the first pick. Even the top 3 picks, and we to leave this draft with only 2 linemen is either at the end of the day we gotta trust Eric. But it's kind of like, all right, what are we going to do? Or do y'all believe in Ben Cleveland like that? Do you believe in the rookie to come in and be productive like that? Or are you going to make some moves later? So, yeah, I understand your sentiments, Brandon. How about you, Mason? How do you feel about the center? And then you can start with you, Mom.
I want to read something about the center. He played in 49 career games for Michigan State over his 5-year career. A lot of people don't go to college for 5 years. A lot of people didn't know that about him. He made 32 starts during that time. All 2,427 of his career snaps were played, as the Spartan center. He was a 3-time academic All Big Ten selection and earned honorable mention All Big Ten from the league's coach and media, following the 2022. And the reason why I wanted to bring that up, Ravens always find great character players. I love that about our organization. We find them people that can be man of the year. You get what I'm saying? Or, do all these type of different things. I love that about our organization. We always bring in somebody that, has some type of academic or some type of product behind their name as far as how they represent themselves, and it's bigger than just sports. So I like the pick. We definitely needed a backup, because if Linderbaum go down, like we said, I don't even know who the backup is. So I had no complaints at all with the pick. Like Brandon was saying, I low-key kind of wanted us to go more than just him. I wanted us to get at least 2 offensive linemen. You get what I'm saying? We got a right tackle, and then we got a center. But I feel like Linderbaum got that on lock. You get what I'm saying? So I kind of was looking at it like Moses and them gone. Like who are we gonna get to step up to the next? So I did want to get an offensive lineman, but I'm satisfied with this draft, and I like this center.
Okay. How about you, Ma? How you feeling?
Yeah, I was thinking there was some type of method to the madness, man. But listening to what you said, all of his snaps he played was at center, because I automatically thought the same thing. Like Linderbaum is like probably, if not the one of the best centers in the league. So I'm thinking this guy from Michigan State, like maybe we gonna put him at guard or something like that. So I don't know, it's a head scratcher for sure, but I feel like maybe DeCosta's trusting some of them guys that's been on our offensive line behind the depth chart, because the guys that's supposed to be up now. The guy that's up next now.
Oh yeah, we got kids, man.
Yeah.
You know how it is. We got little ones, man. So, but I think I know what he was pretty much getting into. If I had a list up, I do want to see the current linemen on the team. I am curious to see who we have on the team right now.
I got
And
you.
because depth wise, I'm trying to think who do we actually. I know we got Falele. We got guys that's been getting developed for a few years, but do we really believe in them like that? Do the team really believe in them to come in and contribute? I actually like Ben Cleveland a lot. I think they kept him so long for a reason. Because they believe he got some kind of ability. But we're gonna see, man. We're gonna see. But like Brandon said, Lamar being protected is the first, because if he's gone, the team is done. If he's not on the field, so you gotta protect Lamar. That's the key to our success. Is protecting him. So
Hey, I pulled them stats up for you too, bro.
okay.
So we got Ronnie Stanley. We got 6 offensive tackles. We got Ronnie Stanley, Rajan Rosengarten, now rookie.
Okay.
We got Daniel Falele, Josh Jones, Patrick McCarry, and Takeem Dawes.
Okay.
And we got 4 offensive guards. Andrew Voorhees. I can't wait to
Yeah,
see him play. That's what I'm excited over.
Yeah.
Ben Cleveland. I don't even know how to pronounce this. Ma'ala Sala.
The Masalo from Oregon.
And then you got Tayshawn Manning, and then you got the 2 centers, Tyler Linderbaum and Nick Samick.
Okay, so we didn't have a second string center,
right?
The one thing I'll say, I was looking through the depth chart as you were reading that off. Is like it was very apparent after free agency, Ravens wanted to go much younger at the offensive line, and like for instance, like the Jets went completely like the opposite. They got they got Morgan Moses from us.
They got him back,
and then the Hall of Famer from Dallas, I'm forgetting his name, at tackle. So I was like, wow. It hurt in free agency to lose those guys, but I'm like, they obviously want to go younger, and I don't mind that. But I think the biggest question mark is Stanley. Can he stay healthy?
Yeah. And me and Maul spoke briefly on Stanley off camera. We was just saying like, I think he's dealt with health so much where it kind of hindered his play. But you talking about an All-Pro, a former All-Pro, he got the ability, man. He just got to be able to stay on the field and be healthy, man. Hopefully he can be at least even 80 to 90% of what he used to be. And
what Brandon said earlier, bro, that's availability. I mean, availability is availability.
It's availability. So, if he's gonna have another injury riddled season, man, it might be time to figure out what to do at left tackle as well. So
didn't he restructure his contract this year?
If I'm not mistaken, I believe so. But he got so much talent, you know what I mean, and he has the ability, but but we can move on, man. And this 6th pick, I actually predicted this. I said I thought we was going to get a quarterback. A lot of people might be wondering why I go quarterback. It's a guy named let me see, 6th round,
Devin Leary.
200 and I can't tell what number pick that is, but
218.
Devin Leary
Mm-hmm.
from Kentucky.
Yep.
Okay, the Ravens got obviously a backup quarterback. He's not going to come in. It's not going to be no quarterback competition. They're not worried about Lamar. But if you look at the quarterbacks on the roster, we have none. Huntley left. Josh Johnson. That's a rental. He's not really a cemented player on the team. So you got to eventually have. I think people need to understand how important having a backup quarterback is. Like that's one of them might be one of the most underrated positions on the field. Is just backup quarterback and a guy that can just come in and be productive. I don't expect him to, but I mean, how you guys feel? I start with you, Maul, since you got cut off last time. I start with
My
you.
bad, man. The
No,
beauty
it's
of
all
having
good, bro.
kids,
It's all
bro.
good.
You
Don't
feel
worry.
me? Hey, but something I like about the pick, man. I don't know too much about the kid, bro, but I can appreciate that. Like, it seemed like for the longest time, bro, you know, since Lamar got the starting job, all our backups, I think, besides one guy, have been like carbon copies of Lamar Jackson, yo. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like last year, we had our whole quarterback room was black guys that can run, that can scramble and stuff like that. So it's kind of refreshing to see, like, all right, man, we got somebody that can probably get in there and deliver some throws like need be. We're gonna see what he looked like in the preseason, obviously, you know what I'm saying? But I was kind of I thought it was a good pick because we lost Snoop or whatever. One of the many players that went to the ops this year in our division. You know what I'm saying? So I like it. It was a good pickup, man. And he's been to a couple of different schools I've seen as well too. So we just gonna probably see him on the sideline with a headset on and learning and stuff like that, man. So I can appreciate that pick, man.
How about you, Brandon?
Yeah, I mean, I was actually, as a good point, I was going to say, does he really fit our system? But
Mhm.
I actually, after hearing that, I agree. You need some, diversity in your groups, whether it's the corner, running back. So I don't mind it. I don't mind it. Currently they have Josh Johnson as the second string and Devin as the
Okay.
string. But I always feel like, if the backup has to play like, I would say more than like 4 games, really you should throw away the season.
Yeah.
Unless you're lucky to somehow
Facts.
pull out a win.
Yeah.
I'm not too crazy. I was never crazy about Huntley. I didn't like his throwing
Yeah.
motion and
Yeah,
stuff.
me either.
He fit our system. But
Right.
if we got to rely on him for 6, 7 games, it's like, oh man, forget
Yeah.
about it. Forget about it. So it's just another depth thing. I don't mind it. And I was actually surprised to see we got a quarterback. But then I was like, well, who the hell is our backup? I didn't even know.
Yeah, right.
So I was fine with the pick.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So, how about you, Macy? Anything you want to add to that, or you feel the
Man,
same way?
y'all guys hit it on the nose. I feel
Yeah.
exactly how all of y'all feel, to be honest. I'm cool with it. I don't really know too much about the guy, honestly, if I'm being transparent, but I like that we did get a quarterback. I do like that.
You know who he remind me of though? Watching him play, it's not like he just play style wise. He kind of remind me of like Baker Mayfield a little bit, just as
Oh
Baker
far
was
as
a
wow.
play
dog in
style a little
college,
bit.
though. Baker was a dog in
Yeah,
college.
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
get it.
Baker, I ain't an insult. It was
Yeah,
just
yeah. That type
but
of play.
yeah, just the playing style, like just like like he just reminded me of like a poor man's version.
Yeah.
But But yeah, moving on, man. With the 5th pick, the Ravens did something that all of us kind of thought what they would do. They drafted Rasheen Ali with the 5th pick. With the 5th round pick, a
Yep.
running back from Marshall, who I looked at the tape. I love his ability, man. I mean, nowadays you can get a running back. You can. When was the first running back taken? Maybe the 2nd or 3rd round. I want to
Yeah,
say.
it wasn't even in the first.
Yeah, you
I,
you can get a running back, like, bro. You can get a running back from anywhere in the draft. I think most of our starting running backs have been later picks. Like, who did we draft high? As far as running back that didn't come in and be successful outside of Jamal Lewis. But you know, nowadays, man, you can find so much talent at the running back position. If I was in Pop One or something and I decided to be in NFL, I would not be a running back. Just the way that the league is treating running backs and how it's looking for running backs is like, you know, they're so accessible and they're so easy to draft nowadays. But Rasheen Ali, I liked his ability. He seemed like a guy with some talent. He seemed quick. You know, I don't have his like combine numbers or anything like that, but you know, a lot of the things you can watch and see what a guy can do. And from what I do know, Marshall is that's a Division D1 school. It ain't Marshall, right? They play like uh top talent, right? If
Yeah, Marshall played. Is Marshall
they might
D1?
play
I know.
mediocre talent, right?
I know they play top competition though.
Right.
I know over the years they upgraded as far as like where they were.
Okay.
But you could.
Yeah. I mean, hey, what you guys think, Mace? I'll start with you, Mace. How you feel about the running back?
I ain't gonna lie, I love running backs. You feel me? We can never have too many. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and I feel like it was a smart pick. We ain't had to like get nobody early in the draft. We didn't have to trade up, trade back, or anything. Like we stuck to our game plan, and I feel like this is the guy they've been watching this whole time. Ravens, they do that. They will pinpoint somebody, and it'll be the last person that you thinking, but it'll fit our mold. He gives me a slimmer Gus Edwards type of vibe. When I watch him run, he runs angry, like how Gus don't get tackled by one person. He ain't as big and bulky, but he ain't no little dude either. So when I was watching his highlights, he was just kind of like a pinball. Like it was hard to tackle him. He was throwing people off of him. Just imagine when seeing that with Derrick Henry go to the bench and you got another dude that can stiff arm you and run you over.
Nah,
Like
for
then you
sure.
got your speedster with when Keith Mitchell come back and Justice Hill.
Do you think, just a real quick before we move on, do you guys think Keith Mitchell comes back this year, or you think they hold him, redshirt him, or do you think he come back at the beginning of the season? I'm just curious what you guys think.
End of December.
End of December? You know, I think I don't think they should rush him back at all, but I was just curious. I was just wondering because that was a severe injury, man. You know, you talking about you have an injury like that.
Mm-hmm.
If he's not going to be 100% of himself, I think they should just hold tight. So a pick like this will help with that. Like, look, just get healthy. You know, we got Derrick Henry, we got Bell Cow, you know, so and we got this rookie. So just get healthy because he got talent. I don't want to see him go nowhere. But that was just real quick. My bad.
No, you good. Anybody else got an opinion about that?
Yeah, I mean, he looks like a speedster. I was gonna say to me, I mean, 6', 209. Like he's kind of small, but then again, he's bigger than Mitchell and Hill. So
Yeah.
our second biggest running back. And I'm crossing my fingers. Mitchell stays healthy. I just think he's such an X factor and can really throw off defenses with the combination of his speed with the workhorse and Derrick Henry. But we need depth, man. I mean, how many running backs go through this year? It just seemed like never-ending injuries. So I don't mind it. He looks like a tough runner. He looks fast. Maybe a better version of Justice Hill. Who knows? But definitely somebody you can throw in on special teams as well.
Sounds good. That's good. How about you, Ma? What you think?
Man, what stuck out to me was looking at it. He got a ton of all-purpose yards while he was in college, man. I see he needs some, he needs to work on protecting the football. You know what I'm saying? When he getting his touches and stuff like that. But one thing I learned though, man, we keep a stable of running backs, man. You know, we had that crazy season where all three of our guys on our depth chart got hurt. We just had to start rolling in guys from the street. But as far as like guys that we draft, like we do pretty good, bringing in ball carriers, man. So hopefully he, hit the ground running. I wouldn't be surprised if I see him, if we see him getting carries this year. I would not be surprised because Justice Hill is a guy that's in and out of the lineup. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens.
And I just quick shout out to Justice Hill, man. He really took leaps and bounds forward this year, and in terms of just being an all-purpose back, catching the ball out the backfield and running. So I like
Yeah.
Justin Field. I like how he developed.
And to
So we
touch
all
on
agree that we,
that Keaton
huh?
Mitchell thing, that to go back to that
Yeah,
Keaton Mitchell thing. Hopefully he get back sometime this year. I don't know if we'll ever say like he 100% because after you had them injuries like that, it's hard for guys to trust their bodies and stuff like that. They a little scared to go to the ground and stuff like
mhm,
that to see what how they taking contact and stuff, man. But prayerfully, man,
yeah,
we'll get a chance to see that 1-2 punch of him and Derrick Henry because that's like thunder and lightning, bro.
man. That was like the potential of home run ability with both of them is just an automatic threat. It just and then Lamar in the backfield with that. Like
Yeah.
the trouble defenses will have preparing, just the idea of it alone is enough to scare you defensively. You know,
Really quick, guys. I wanted to talk about the running back. You guys sparked something in my mind that I feel like I'm the only one saying this. Is one guy I kind of wish we could keep or maybe have on the practice squad is Cook. I feel like, I mean, he never played with the Jets. He never got the snaps with the Jets. We picked him up.
mm,
We didn't give him the snaps. I feel like this whole year he didn't take any brunt, any brutality.
right?
He's still young. He
Yeah.
seems like he's got something to prove. Why not? You
Why?
know?
Yeah. It baffles me why they didn't utilize it. Like to this, it doesn't make sense. And then to not have no plans with him moving forward, it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't get it. And
He would have been cheap. He would have been
yeah,
cheap too.
Exactly.
and like one of the biggest things, like Brandon said, just the hunger, just knowing he's hungry and just wanting to prove himself. I don't see why you just let that just diminish and dissolve away. I just think it was so much potential there, and we
He had
just
that
didn't.
breakout run in the playoffs against Houston, and then he never got the ball
That
back.
was it, and it don't make sense. I don't even want to talk about. Oh my goodness, that playoff game.
You bring it back. That I'm getting angry
Geez.
over here
I'm just
again.
saying, like Dalvin Cook, man, he could be a diamond in the rough. I feel like he's still got something left in the gas tank, and with
Mm-hmm.
Keaton Mitchell's question mark on his health, he might come back and get re-injured. You never know. So I don't know. It just, to me, it seems like a no harm, no foul situation with Dalvin Cook. Get him for cheap. If he works out, great. If he doesn't, you didn't
Right.
drop a bag on him.
Just let him go. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. So as of now, he's not on our roster as of today, right? Is
Right.
he?
And no
Oh,
team
yeah.
seems to want him. I mean,
Hey, what's going
don't
on
be
with that?
surprised. Don't be surprised. Y'all know the Ravens love to wait stuff out and get the biggest discounts and all. I wouldn't be surprised if after everything is said and done, because you gotta remember, it's a lot of people in this draft that didn't get drafted that are good players. A lot of every running back ain't get drafted. Like it was a lot of good running backs that didn't get drafted. So the Ravens they love undrafted free agents. That's what Keaton Mitchell was a walk-on.
Yeah.
So we love them, yo. You feel me? Like, so
Yeah.
I think we're gonna be good as far as like adding another person. But as far as Cook, man, I feel the same way, bro. I was just disappointed.
That's
I just knew
definitely
he
a
was
great
gonna be
point.
good for
That
us.
was a head scratcher, man. That was one of them things make you snap. You're like, God damn, you right. Like we could.
Yeah.
Why not use that depth and keep Dalvin Cook around, man? Like I don't understand that. And every time I hear somebody say Keaton Mitchell name, it's just like, why can't our backfield stay healthy, man? Like,
Yeah.
I think it's somebody put a curse in the locker room, man, or something. I don't know, man. It's crazy because nobody can stay healthy.
I blame
But
Bart Scott, yo. Ever since he left the team, he been hating on us.
man. But moving forward, man, moving on in the draft, and here's what I want to say before we get into the next couple picks is that this is where I believe that the picks that we're about to discuss all the way up until the number one, all these guys going to automatically see the field. I think they're going to instantly play at some point in the season. Like it's a big plan for them to play. Maybe not start, but absolutely see some time in different packages and stuff like that. And we're going to start with the corner, TJ Tampa, the 4th round pick. I think I say 130 pick.
130.
If I'm the cornerback from Iowa State. You know, now going into this draft, a lot of us Ravens fans, if you watch the Ravens, you know that we need some depth at corner. And once again, corners are like pitchers and basically you can never have too many corners. You need as many corners as possible. And this guy TJ Tampa, like once again, I don't know these people. I don't know none of these players. I need to watch college football more. But once you go into the breakdown analysis of them and you get deeper into them, I started to like them. You fall in love with guys' tape. You see guys play. You see the highlights reel. You fall in love with them, and you get the measurables. And one thing I want to say the Ravens do too is they always were great at like finding guys with like accolades. Like you know, uh, we got a corner that didn't allow a catch over 20 yards. You know what I mean? And we get a tackle that didn't allow a sack his whole collegiate career. Like stuff like that kind of showed that production. That's something you want to see, especially in the later pick. That's value in my opinion. Because if you can remember Judon, he was the leader in collegiate sacks. So you get the guy who's the all-time leader in sacks, and then you get Ferguson who broke that. So the Ravens get guys who has accolades and high levels of production. So I like the pick. I think he comes in, he has some ability, and he gets coached up. And how you guys feel about it? I guess Mace or whoever want to start. Mace, how you feel about it?
Let our special guest go.
Oh, you want to go? How you feel about that, Brandon?
Listen, I had listened to Mel Kiper about 2 to 3 weeks before the draft, and I wrote this guy's name down. So
Oh wow,
we got him. I was so excited. This is a sleeper pick. He looks like he can close in on the ball, good in single coverage. I mean, I can't rave him out. When I heard that, I was like, oh yeah, Eric did his thing, because if Mel Kiper's highlighting a guy, saying this guy's a sleeper, and he was actually projected to go higher up in the draft. I think he went, was it third round, TJ Tampa?
Fourth round.
Fourth round. Yeah, he was projected, third, maybe even second. I don't know, but it seems like a steal. I mean, and he's played in a conference, with Texas and Oklahoma. So it's not, no name colleges he's going up against. So I think it's a brilliant pick. I think it's a plug and play type of player. And we definitely need that in the backfields for sure.
You muted, bro.
My bad. But what's his measurables? Like anybody have like his measurables or how tall he is? I'm curious.
He's 6'2", 200, I believe.
Wow. So they getting bigger corners too. 6'2".
Yeah.
You got he fast too.
Yeah, he fast too.
So that's good, man. That's good. And like I seen a lot of that Brandon speaking on when I watched the breakdown. It's just his closing speed, coverage ability. He got some ability, man. You can get coached up and stuff like that. But we got some potential. You got some guys that got some potential. How you feel about it, Maul?
Yeah, I'm piggyback off of what you and Brandon said, man. You definitely can never have enough, too many corners, man, especially. I give Marlo a hard time, man. It seemed like he be ducking wreck every time the Bengals come in town or something like that. Marlo on the sideline somewhere, like, you know what I'm saying? Ever since Jamar Chase smoked them for almost 300 yards. But, this draft class, man, or what I think the Costa is doing, bro. So here's the thing about, like, another organization, the Seattle Seahawks don't draft corners that's under 6 feet tall. And I was thinking about like how long Kyle Hamilton is, how long our first round pick is, and then this guy, and you look at his film, he flies to the ball, like he's a defensive back that likes to tackle. You know what I'm saying? So like that's always big with me. Like I was thinking, like, man, we like shit, like he can get on the fields, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because we've been just, again, injuries just been killing us, man, with all our guys that we've been, that we drafted over the years, like that we haven't seen on the field because they've been hurt. So
Pepe, Armour Davis.
Right. And like Brandon said, playing in the conference, like going up against Oklahoma, man, with, you know, they put up 500 yards a game, passing the ball easy. You know what I'm saying? Going up against Texas, where that's a ball club that you see they had the fastest receiver in the draft. Like Texas wide receivers are all track stars. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he ain't somebody that's gonna be gun shy. Or like, you know, he used to seeing that ball being hummed in the air, man. So like I'm excited, bro. I'm excited about this secondary for real, man.
Yeah, for sure. How about you, Mace?
I ain't gonna lie, I'm actually a fan of both of the corners that we drafted. So when I seen that he was still available, I knew we was gonna get him. Like Brandon said, bro, he's a steal, bro. It's really a steal in the draft. And like I said, I actually watched him. So you know who he reminds me of? Like actually watching him. Do y'all remember a young Marlon Humphrey? Always right there next to the receiver,
Physical.
breaking up passes, always on your hip.
Or a young Jimmy Smith.
Yeah.
Jimmy.
Very young. Very young.
Yeah, I was about to say, I ain't want to go Jimmy because Jimmy was a beast, man. Like when before them
physical
injuries,
corner, bigger guy.
yeah, like Jimmy was different. But this guy,
don't get me started on Jimmy.
This guy's aggressive, bro. He gives me Marlon Humphrey like first couple years vibe. Like he's always around the ball. Even when he get beat, it's like you got to make a great catch to beat him. It's not like he's getting beat off the line. Like he's tough, man. He's tough. I don't got no complaints about him. And what you said earlier when you was like a couple of them going to start, I think every person we drafted from the 4th round up, besides the running back and maybe besides like the center, I think everybody else going to start. I think our wide receiver going to start. I think the rookie going to start on the line.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I don't mean to cut you on. My bad. What you saying? No. Like I agree. Like I think they all gonna see the field at some point, whether it's in certain packages or just special teams. All of them gonna play. Like like they all gonna get some see the field special teams, except for the quarterback maybe, and and a lineman or something. But for the most part, that's why I said from this pick, Tampa on down, all of them going to see significant time on the field. I believe potentially. Like that's why I love this draft so much. Because when you picking from 1 to 4, I'm not a GM, but I built many championship teams on Madden. From 1 to 4, you looking to get guys that can come in and like be an instant contributor, or plug and play guys in later rounds is for depth. But I love the Tampa pick, man. I love that Tampa pick.
They got him listed at 6'2", 200 pounds.
Yeah, that's a big corner, man. That's a big corner. And like if you look at our cornerback room, I mean Stevenson, shout out to Stevenson, man, for like taking a jump that he did, man. And if Marlon Humphrey can be, he's been someone that's been dealing with injuries for a while too. If he can be anything like how he used to be, and then you got, of course, the first corner we picked, and this guy, it's and Mollett too. Mollett. I love Mollett.
So I like Arthur. Arthur was tough.
Yeah, and in our division, I mean, look at the receivers. We got our division is 2 receivers there's 2 potential number 1 receivers on every team. The Browns just got Jerry Jeudy, and they got Amari Cooper. The Bengals gonna be what the Bengals are. The Steelers. I mean, it seemed like they just draft receivers. Like
I ain't gonna lie, y'all might not want to hear this, bro. The Steelers been cooking the whole off season, bro. They've been pissing me off how they getting all these good players, bro. They won't be a problem for us next year.
They always a problem for us. They swept us. So, it's the Steelers. They always a problem, but let's see it on the field. Let's see how it on the field. All right, we already 45 minutes in. I guess we can speed it up a little bit. Not rush, but kind of speed it up a little bit. But moving on, we could talk about the 4th round pick. The other 4th round pick, Devontae Walker, the receiver from Carolina. I didn't know anything about once again, but looking on the tape, looks like another polished guy. Fast. He run a 4.3, if I'm not mistaken.
4.3.
Something like that. Good route run. I seen Steve Smith kind of break him down and say, he has the potential to take somebody's spot. but it's all on him. You know, how you guys feel about it? Do y'all love it? Like the pick? How you feel? Mace, I'll start with you, then we can go Brandon Moore.
Hey yo, he a bigger Zay Flowers, yo. He ain't like the hugest guy, but he flies. He's great at tracking the ball in the air. He runs good routes. I will say he be having some weird random drops though. Watching him over college, it was like he's so fast and ready to run that his drops be concentration drops. Like he's already running before the ball gets in his hand. So that's the only thing I kind of seen that was like, all right, but I like it, bro. And I think he's gonna like who gonna start over him? You gonna have him? You gonna have Bateman? You gonna have?
I don't think he start over Nelson. I think he see the field, but I don't think he start over Aguilar.
I don't
You know, if you talking about
I
1,
agree
2, 3. If you 1, 2, 3, Bateman, Zay, Aguilar, you know, I think the Vontaze Walker is kind of going to just be like one of those guys. I mean, because really, if you think about it, Tylen Wallace looked amazing coming out of college. You know, it's like he just might be another one of those guys. He got ability. He got ability. And one thing I do want to say I seen from him is I don't really see a lot of yards after contact. I see a lot of yards at the catch, but not at the contact. Like maybe like Zay or something like that. But I mean, I think he see the field, and I think he got the potential to be great. But I just don't think he might even be a fifth starter. Might be on the fifth.
I don't got Aguilar beating him off of that spot. I'm sorry.
I definitely got Aguilar beating him out. I don't even think he got Devontae Hardy beat.
I think, you feel me, you ain't watched Devontae Walker. You watch highlights. That's what it sounds like.
I listen. All I'm gonna say is Aguilar got re-signed. Aguilar got re-signed, and he played in games last year. He wasn't like terrible. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not doubting him. I'm not doubting him at all.
Yeah. So I'm saying, why would I start a unproven rookie over a guy that I re-signed?
And all that stuff for.
That's
why certain people get their spots up.
Man, like if you agree, and comment if you agree with me, like if you agree with Mason.
Yeah. I was about to say, bro, he really a dog. I ain't gonna make it seem like
he a dog. He's solid. All right, we can start with
our wide receiver room outside of, you feel me, Zay, nobody else is really proven. Bateman's still not proven. You feel me? Like, so we can't sit here and put everybody on a pedestal. That rookie gonna come in and he's gonna be hungry, and our offensive coordinator is gonna give whoever wants that the best spot. Now the Ravens players already probably got a advantage from being there, but I think he better than half of the wide receivers we got outside of.
The thing, though, is like, you know, as a rookie receiver, it's more than just about like your ability. Unless you like a first round pick or something like that, like you gotta also take in this concept that like this guy fresh out of school, he got to learn how to sit and find like soft spots and zones and stuff like that. That's stuff that you got to learn. Like, you know what I'm saying?
They do that in college too, though.
Yeah, but we'll see. Like I said, like, because the Ravens pick dudes that when you watch them on, I mean, James Prochet in college never dropped a pass, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like when you see receivers in college, they look good. They I see a mid pick exactly where he was at. That's gonna see some field potentially here and there. Might even be like a return guy or something like that. You know, I think he might get a chance. But what you think, Brandon?
I'll say, you know, receiver in Baltimore is always interesting. I mean, I feel like we haven't drafted outside of Zay. Before him, when's the last Torrey Smith that we drafted?
Torrey Smith, yep.
But the one optimism I have with this guy is he's 6'3". You know, Duvernay, Prochet, Hollywood, Zay, they're all smaller guys. You know, I've been waiting to get that big name receiver. The one that I can't get over that I wanted to draft was DK Metcalf, and we chose Hollywood over him. So, I mean, the one thing is that he's 6'3". He's a speedster. And I looked up Bleacher Report, you know, they compared him to Mike Wallace, which I'm cool with. I mean, Mike Wallace was a very good player for Pittsburgh early in his career.
For us too.
But like Mason said, some of the negatives are ability to finish catches through contact, sometimes inconsistent route runner. So, I mean, it just remains to be seen. That's going to develop over time. I think, though, if we still had like OBJ, he could definitely help develop a guy, a kid like this, and still continue with Zay as well. But receiver to me is still a big question mark. I would have to agree with Mason. This guy could give Nelson a run for his money because we know what Nelson comes with. We know what he's going to provide. We don't know what this kid's going to provide. He could be a shot in the dark, that a lightning bolt that just comes out of nowhere. I don't see that happening with Nelson. And Bateman, I've always since I first started my podcast, was like, I can't trust him. For one, his availability, and two, I just don't feel like him and Lamar are ever on the same page. I was surprised to see Zay come out the way he was as a rookie and just seem to mesh like that with Lamar. Kind of like Hollywood. Maybe Lamar's just only looking towards him, but I think a lot of these guys, it's up in the air, even with Bateman.
No, I like that breakdown. Hey man, I'm all for it. I hope he does come in and just reach his potential and be a guy that can take over Nelson Aguilar. I actually would prefer that than continuously to have mid to low tier receivers on the team. You draft guys and you don't really get your return from him. So I didn't know he was 6'3". To know he's 6'3", that actually made kind of my opinion change. I didn't know he was 6'3". So if you 6'3" and run a 4.3, that puts you in a different goddamn ball game.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that. I ain't know that. But yeah, man. Hopefully we can get some production out of him. As far as the receiver go, Bateman, man, like
Bateman doesn't attack the football, man. That's my only thing about Bateman, bro. He does not attack the football, bro. And it's cool that we signed him, an extension to say, like, you know what, we're gonna give you to give you some time. We drafted you in the first round for a reason. He was a dog when he was in Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is even though we signed him to an extension, man, this a do or die year for Beetlejuice, man. It's a do or die year for him.
I was about to say, hopefully we see a lot of this next year, man. A lot of Beetlejuice, man.
Hey, call me crazy. I don't want to, harp too much on this, but honestly, I feel like this is like some fantasy football hocus pocus type stuff. But if we could somehow move Likely to a receiver and have him on the same field as Andrew,
that's the big body receiver right there we're looking for, man. That's what I think.
Let's be honest here. Travis Kelce is a wide receiver, in my opinion. And I see Likely as the type of mobility similar to that. Like, he's quicker than Andrews. He's more nimble. He just plays more like a receiver to me. I feel like it's such a detriment to have such a good player on the sideline because you got Andrews on the field.
And I think at some point the Ravens gonna have to decide either out of him or Andrews. And I think moving him to a receiver kind of will eliminate that whole having to keep one. You know what I mean?
And Todd Monken seemed like, and don't get me wrong, like, I ain't gonna be too on him. Todd Monken seemed like having too many weapons confuses him. If y'all get what I'm saying. Because we got so many weapons, and you can tell he don't know how to use certain ones. Like, for example, Brandon just literally said, put them on the field together. We seen them how many times on the field together?
Well, Mark Andrews was hurt a lot, right? Though. How long was Mark Andrews hurt again? Was he hurt like what? 4 games?
He got hurt against Cincinnati. That was already into the season.
Yeah, that was like week probably like 10 or 11. I mean, he missed.
Okay.
And we just wasn't using him, even though when he went down, man, not even when he went down, Isaiah showed enough in his rookie season.
And the whole season, when we waiting to see how many catches Isaiah Likely had, and he wasn't getting none. Like, even like we was like, he had like 3 catches like 8 games into the season. We was like, how come he ain't using Likely? You're right about that.
Make a play like he did in the Houston playoff game, Randy Moss, the guy.
Yeah.
I feel like you got to have a guy like that on the field.
Yeah. He catching passes with one hand, running 40 yards down the field. Like,
Miami game, yeah, true. I mean,
that play that he made against Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I love Likely. I agree with Brandon. Like put him at wide. That's the big receiver that you need. That's the big one. You eliminate having to draft one. You got one right there. You can move him over to wide receiver, put him in the inside or outside. He can do all that. So
He
I
could
He
like
be
that
ain't that
idea.
good at
he could be
blocking.
our Anquan Bolden, in my opinion.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
He
Straight
ain't
up.
that good of a blocker too. So what
But
you
you don't
think
need your
about this?
receivers to. Oh, go ahead. What you say?
No, I was just about to ask you what you think about round 3 outside
Yeah, I was about to
linebacker.
move. I was about to bring up round 3, the third pick, Adisa Isaac from Penn State. Once again, Ravens do a good job of finding guys with some kind of production. Like he led his team in sacks, I believe, and if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. He was number 1 in the conference with 16 tackles for loss. A natural pass rusher, got natural pass rush moves, has speed. He was the opposite of Pork Chop Robinson, and just hearing Mel Kiper break it down, they were saying Pork Chop didn't his production on the field wasn't that good, but he tested well, and Adisa is the opposite. He didn't test that great, but his production on the field was outstanding. So I like that pick. The Ravens need rushes. I mean, that's to me is the next most needed thing outside of linemen. It's like you need some guys that can come in and rush the ball, especially losing Clowney and losing the guys that we lost. Like who we're going to use to replace them. But we do have guys like old Jabo and different things. But just to speed things up, I'll let you go. Brandon. You can go, and then Maul and Mace.
Yeah, I'll keep it short and simple. I just hope, being that they were teammates, he doesn't turn out to be OA. I'm not a big OA fan. I just don't see the production with the guy coming from the same school. That's all I'm gonna say. Just don't turn out to be OA, because edge rusher, man. I mean, I'm glad we got Van Noy back, of course, veteran presence. He can make plays, but we just don't have that guy like we can say for the other teams in our division, with Watt, Garrett, and Trey. So we'll see. I just hope he doesn't turn out to be like his former teammate, or now still teammate, Odafe Owe. So that's all I'll say.
How about you, Mason? What you think? Yeah.
6'4", 247 pounds, you feel me? He ran a 4.74 40, you get what I'm saying? His 10-yard split was 1.64, and he got a 34.5 vertical jump and a 10-inch broad jump. I like him.
Okay. What about you, Maul? You muted, brother.
Yeah, I yeah. That's funny what Brandon said. Like, hope he don't end up like our way for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh wait, like, I feel like he's gonna be able to be a guy that's, for one, I think he's gonna be a starter week 1.
Okay.
I, I because with a Jabo, we just don't forget a Jabo was supposed to have been like a top 3 pick of the draft, and he fell because
Something
of
like
his
that,
injury. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully he get back and he's healthy or whatever, man. And we got a good. I think Dr. Sack's still on our staff, yo. So he good at developing pass rushes and stuff like that. We had a historic defense, man. So everybody know they got big shoes to fill. Like we mentioned for real, our top needs was offensive line, defensive backs, and edge rushes. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping DaCosta, I don't know what they got in the water over there at Penn State, man, but they got pretty good edge rushers, man. Even though Adafe hasn't been able to be his self, I feel like. But I think a lot of that too is because he's been playing through injury. You know what I'm saying? Like if you look at him on the field, he damn near looked like he got a boot on his ankle, how heavy the tape is on it. You know what I'm saying? But he been still trying to go. Like, you know what I mean? He been still trying to go. So that's all I got, man, just to keep it short, man. Hopefully he a guy that can ball out. I looked at his story.
Yeah, you got a real crazy story.
Yeah, what's going on with his family, his younger siblings and stuff like that, man. So like he playing with a different purpose and a different passion, yo. So hopefully that resonate on the field.
Yeah, for sure. I like the potential of it. All right, then we can move on to the second round. And I love this player's name, Roger Rosengarten. I think that's a great name. A right tackle out of Washington. He blocked Michael Penix's blind side because he's left-handed. And yeah, so real quick, I love the pick. I mean, we needed linemen. Obviously, we've been talking about it the whole podcast, the whole show. We needed linemen. We got a guy who never allowed a sack his collegiate career. I don't think that means in the NFL he's never going to allow a sack. But when you get a guy with something like that, with them kind of accolades, he has some talent. Get him coached up. He's going to come in and complete automatically for a spot. So I like the pick. Great pick. We can move on. Maul, we can start with you, then Brandon and Mason.
I think it's a bro. Bro, this was such a freaking excellent pick, bro. The the rarity of having a pass blocking right tackle. Usually your right side of your line or your run blockers over there. You know what I'm saying? Because most quarterbacks are left-handed. So having a right tackle that can pass protect, yo, is going to be freaking. That shit going to be huge, yo. It is. That shit going to be huge, yo. I can't stress it enough, like how excited I am to have a pick like that, yo. Like when you got guys like T.J. Watt and Myles Garrett in our division, like you know what I'm saying? Like that's gonna make a big difference, man. It's gonna make a big difference.
Yeah, I agree. I love the pick. I mean, honestly, like we always say, Pittsburgh drafts receiver well. Well, over the years, man, Ravens have done well with the offensive line from Ogden to Marshall Yanda to Stanley. So I trusted. I mean, this is a guy, another one of the guys that projected to be a steal in the draft. So I'm all for it, and we need tackles, especially in this division. So it was a great pick, and I think this was one of the steals along with TJ Tampa. So credit DaCosta for doing his thing.
Week one starter.
For sure.
I don't have nothing bad to say about him. Week one starter.
Yeah, I love it, and hopefully he can reach that potential and be a cornerstone tackle. But moving on to the last pick of the draft, man. The Ravens went cornerback with the 30th pick of the draft. They drafted a corner, Nate Wiggins from out of Clemson. Me personally, like I said, I didn't know nothing about him. I was on a Kool-Aid train like everybody else. But after hearing Mel Kiper speak and Todd McShay speak and watching tape on him and seeing different breakdowns, this guy, he's good. They say the lack is that he's not aggressive or he's not physical, but that when I looked at on the tape, I don't see that. I see somebody that sticks to his receiver. He runs a 4.2. If we had a guy break the record for the fastest 40 time, he was second. He ran the second fastest 40 time of anybody. So, he's 6'2", one of them big corners that like we was talking about earlier with Tampa. You bring him in, he's going to order. He's a first round pick, so he's going to see the field. I love it because it was a need for us. I love it. And just to speed this up, I ain't gonna talk too much. I'll let you guys talk. Mason, Maul, and then Brandon, you can finish it up since you the guest. Tell us what you think.
Hey, yo, you know what? Why this Nate Wiggins pick is so perfect? You feel me? Because they're gonna treat him like they did Kyle Hamilton, bro. Nate is not about to just sit at cornerback. He ain't gonna go to safety. I ain't saying it like that, but he's gonna be in a lot of different packages, bro. I can see them blitzing him. I can see them putting him on, the fastest receiver, or they're gonna throw him all around. You feel me? So. He's one of them type of specialty players where he can be able to do all those different type of things. He gonna put on some weight. That's his only. Yeah. He's skinny as I don't know what, but shorty a dog. He gonna put on some weight and he gonna be good. I like it.
Ma.
Yo, man. Yo. I'm so happy about this pick, bro. He tall, he lean. Like you said, I don't know what's up with that. Them talking about him not being physical, bro. He a guy that don't give up on the play. You know what I'm saying? Like all the tape that I watched of him, yo. If a receiver is catching the ball, he's fighting like to get that ball out of there, like all the way through the play, all the way to the ground. He's trying to knock the ball out, yo. You know what I'm saying? the first thing that popped in my mind, the first thing popped in my mind was like, that's who gonna stick George Pickens, bro. The first thing popped in my mind. The first thing popped in my mind was Humphrey getting burnt in one-on-one coverage the first game of the year last year, which Humphrey shouldn't have been put in that predicament. I'm not saying that was all Humphrey's fault. He's back from a toe injury. Humphrey can't run down the field with nobody. You know what I'm saying? But this kid, he's super fast, yo. He's super lean. When you look at him on tape, he don't even look like he's trying to run his fastest. You know what I'm saying? He just constantly closing space. He constantly closing space.
Mm-hmm.
He gonna make people pay for them late throws. He's somebody that look like he look like he a ball hawk. Like he, you know what I'm saying? Like you throw a 50-50 ball in his direction, like good luck with that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how he'll do as far as like maybe when they talked about his lack of physicality, maybe against the run.
Yeah, that's
you know
what
what I'm
they were talking
saying?
about the run.
Yeah. But as far as like pass coverage and getting physical with receivers, man, like I feel like he got it, bro. Like, man, Marlon Humphrey may have to move inside to the slot when playing a nickel. You know what I'm saying? Like I like to see Brandon Stevens the way he, made that leap, like you mentioned last year, sticking to number one guys and stuff like that. Him and Wiggins on the outside, man, I'd be fine with that, yo. And he got so much range, man. He got so much range. Like y'all know football, man. Like, yo, 4.2, that's lightning. Like that's fast. That is very fast, yo.
And he don't
You know
give
what
up
I'm saying?
either. So
Yeah,
man,
man.
athletic
It's
one.
gonna help us. All them speed guys that we got to go to Kansas City this year. You know what I'm saying? All them speed guys that Kansas City got over there. They got Marquise Brown, and they just got the guy that ran the fastest 40 in the combine. Like we gonna need him. You know what I'm saying? We gonna need him, and he gonna show himself. Like I can't wait to see him in Pickens battle, bro. That's all I can think about. I love that pick, man. We didn't miss with that one.
Yeah, I agree. At first, when they first announced his name, I was kind of surprised it wasn't offensive lineman. But then I sat back and I was like, man, we do need a corner. And he led the ACC in PFF grade coverage the past 2 seasons. I will say though, he was in a weak conference. The ACC is not a very good football conference. But in terms of getting stronger and getting bigger, every football player can get bigger,
Right.
But I love the height, 6'2". I didn't want a small guy. And I agree. I mean, I heard some people saying that Marlon should be moved to the inside and have Wiggins and Brandon Stevens on the outside. So I'm a proponent of that, as well as, of course, the likely to receiver. I mean, why not? You got to try things in the NFL, I feel like. And not only that, he's not going to be the guy in this defensive backfield, which is good, which can help him grow because so much pressure. When you have veterans like Marcus Williams, even though I'm not a huge fan of him, he is a veteran. He has made plays for us. You have Humphrey, given he hasn't been good, and Kyle Hamilton. So he's amongst a good group of guys that can groom him, that can teach him. So he doesn't have to be the guy. He just has to play the role. And I think that's perfect. It fits well with our defense because we already have the leaders in play. We just need the playmakers to add to it. So great pick. And just in our division alone, we need those corners because we got some dogs on the outside and our schedule is tough, guys. I mean, you're talking about Philadelphia and their receiving core. We got to go against Devontae Adams and the Raiders. Buffalo picked up a dog. Kansas City, Houston. So it's a tough league, and you need a defensive backfield for sure.
Hey, before you move on, I got a nugget for y'all that I don't know if y'all know. So Nate Wiggins held Zay Flowers without a catch the last game they played against each other.
Oh yeah,
I saw. Yeah.
And I actually watched
some
that
of the
whole
balls
game
was thrown to the ground too, though, man.
But he wasn't open though. He wasn't.
Some of them passes was kind of suspect, man. Poor Zay Flowers, man.
Yeah, but
I seen
when he not open too, the quarterback sometimes got to throw them dirt balls, not to throw that interception.
Yeah,
but he was throwing a lot of bad passes.
I ain't gonna lie. I seen DeAndre Walker cook him though.
Mm-hmm. And they showed it. They showed it on TV. Him burning L corner. I'm like,
Yeah, I
hey.
seen him cooking them though. I say he gotta get. He do. You know, he's gonna get bigger because he 20 years old. He's a kid, man. He's 20, and I like the point Brandon brought up. He's not gonna take the brunt of the responsibility. He's gonna be in a position. He in a position where he can grow and not have to like get beat up too much. He got guys in front of him. Stevenson, he could just develop and get confidence. And just like Kyle Hamilton, the experiences. Once he got his experience in NFL, it took him his game up to another level. So I like the potential, man. And yeah, all in all, man, that's the old Ravens draft. All in all, just real quick. I just want to get y'all grade as a whole, your grade on this draft. And I guess I could start with the special guest, Brandon. What would you grade this? What would you grade this draft?
I would say B plus A. A few. We're talking about 3, maybe 4 steals in the draft. No
Mhm.
one knows until years down the
Right.
line how these guys go. But I think, in all honesty, the draft, it's really about who you go to, and the fact
Mhm.
that we are one of the best organizations. If Nate Wiggins had to go to Carolina, you probably
Right.
wouldn't hear much about him.
Right.
So we just know how to pick players that fit well in our system.
Mhm.
And as Mason said earlier, no nonsense guys, no off the field. That's why we never entertain guys like Antonio Brown. And even if
Mhm.
we had to get Stephon Diggs, I don't think we would pull the trigger on him because of his
Mhm.
attitude issues. So we get high quality stand-up guys on and off the field 9 times out of 10 and usually fit well with our system. We just got to implement them right, as well as the coaching, and try to get this Super Bowl. That's basically
For sure.
the last, icing on the cake that this organization needs.
So just real quick, what could the Ravens have done to make this an A plus in your mind?
I think it's just too early to say A plus.
Mhm.
I just think you have to wait until to see these guys perform
Okay.
because injuries are also a factor. I don't want to be too high and too much of a homer, but
Right. Right.
I mean TJ Tampa, as I mentioned, I was big on him as a steal, and so there are good names, and
Yeah.
I'm just confident in Eric. It just remains to be seen, because like
Right.
Dobbins, that could have been, that year could have been a plus had he been the superstar that we thought he was going to be, but injuries really,
Mhm.
so there's so
Okay.
many factors that come into play, I feel like.
That's understandable. What would you say, Mason? What would you grade the draft?
I'm kind of with him too. I want to give us like a B plus. I can't give us
Mhm.
an A, and I ain't gonna lie, y'all might say I'm childish, but I don't like that we picked the safety, bro. I'm sorry. Like I felt like we had other stuff that we could have used that last pick on. I get it though. I get it for depth and all that, but I just felt like we could have got another running back or another wide receiver or another offensive lineman or another defensive lineman before a safety. So that's why I give us a B and not an A, because I just feel like them 4 other positions was more important than getting a safety right now. So I felt like I wish we would have used that last pick to double up on one of those other positions instead of safety. But I do get it. So that's why I gave us a B instead of an A.
How about you,
Ball.
Maul?
Hey, I'm right there with y'all, man. We B for Baltimore, man. I thought we drafted well, considering the needs that the holes that we had to fulfill. Geno Stone was a guy that could come off the field and literally make a immediate impact. When I saw the guy and I look at the film of the last pick, that safety, he looked like a guy that could play around in the box. So it kind of made me think like, need be, if he gets on the field, you might could put. I would love to see Hamilton play free safety and be able to roam around the back end of the field instead of just, around the box helping out and run support and stuff like that, yo. So I thought it was a pretty solid draft. Like I was trying to say earlier, my kids had interrupted me. I think our offensive linemen, that we got a bunch of guys that been sitting around that's waiting to relish their opportunity to be starters. I know we got that guy. Somebody said his name earlier from Oregon. That he's projected. He was supposed to have been the top lineman that got taken off the board when he got drafted, but he got injured. So I think Eric DeCosta kind of feel like, you know what, like I'm gonna take a chance on these guys. Like they'll come back from that injury and they'll be ready to play. So you got guys like him and Ojabo that's hopefully ready to go. And my last thought, bro, is like the road to the Super Bowl only it's getting harder this year, yo. Hearing Brandon talk about some of them opponents that we got. We got Houston on the road. We got
Dallas.
We got Philly. We got Dallas. Like we got a bunch
Wow.
of. We got to go to Arrowhead. Like
Chiefs,
you know what I'm saying.
Eagles.
We got a bunch of tough guys that we got to go up against. I'm pretty sure when we look at our strength of schedule this year, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a bit over 500 of their, our opponent's record from last year. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in our division has gotten way better in the offseason. Everybody just in our division alone, let alone the AFC, the whole AFC just beefed up their teams to try to beat Patrick Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's a tough road ahead, man. The Steelers went 5-1 without a quarterback in our division last year. They only going to get better. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a tough road ahead, man, but we'll see if we can rise to the opportunity. I see Lamar Jackson showed up smaller than he did last year in the offseason, and some people think that may be a good thing. Like, oh, he's going to be moving around, running a lot faster and stuff like that. But I like to see him with the weight on him because he proved himself to be durable last year with that weight on him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
That's a great point.
I don't understand the concept of he's lighter, he's gonna be back faster and this and that. So and he still won the MVP. So we'll see what happens, man.
No, for sure. I like that, man. I like that. I like that breakdown. I agree with Maul. He must have had to leave. Yeah, this probably was perfect timing because my son just woke up. So, I just want to say, man, this was a great episode. I wish we had more time, to kind of get into the undrafted free agents and stuff like that. But, we're already running an hour and some change. But I think for the most part, we were able to cover a lot of the draft and really get into what we think about it. So I just want to thank Brandon for coming on here, man. Great input, great. Hey, man. Just let the people know once again where to subscribe to your channel because if y'all listen to this, you can tell that he knows what he's talking about. He's just not some guy talking about sports. Like he knows what he's talking about. Knows Ravens.
Appreciate it. I try my best, but I appreciate you guys, having me on. It's a bit nerve-wracking because I'm not the big college guy, and it's like all hearsay and stuff. I was the free agency. I was way more knowledgeable because the players have already been proven and who's who. But nevertheless, man, this was a fun experience for me to hop on here, and I'm always down to talk Ravens. Again, you can anybody watching, you can find me at RavensFlock Talk. That's on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, whatever platform you listen to. But last thing I'll say, it's this upcoming season. It's going to be interesting. I really feel like last year was our Super Bowl roster due to how many veterans with Clowney and Van Noy and guys that have been in the league, OBJ. So this is going to be a completely different team, a much younger team. And I think coaching is going to matter even more. So with these younger guys and trying to groom them into, playing up to par of the Kansas Cities of the world to get over that hump. So we'll see, but a good first start with this draft for sure. Let's just pray that everybody stays healthy and we can get the ball rolling this year and pick up where we left off.
For sure, I like that, man. It's gonna be the Ravens, man. It's gonna be challenging, man. But if any team can do it, we can. Battle tested, and it's gonna come down to coaching and a lot of other things, like Brandon said. So,
Hey,
starts with stuff like this.
We did.
Yeah, we did. So it starts with stuff like this, building the championship team. It starts with the draft, and then you get into the workouts and things like that. So we'll see, man. But we always hope for the Ravens, and I don't care if they go out there and be 0-17. That's what I'm gonna be doing every Sunday. chilling for the Ravens, man. So, you know,
I don't know
nah,
about
I
those.
mean, I'm just saying, you know, I don't want it to happen, but I'm just saying, like, it don't matter. You know, I didn't been through some dark times as a Ravens fan, but it's been more great times than dark. So,
We go
with that
0-17.
being said,
Charging the stadium.
huh?
We go 0-17. I'm charging the stadium. Y'all gonna see me on the news.
You gonna see me on the sideline with a Lamar Jack jersey on, like, and him tied up in the locker room. I'm gonna go out there and throw. God damn it. But
Right.
with that being said, man, just want to thank everybody for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out Brandon's his podcast, Sports Talk, RavensFlock Talk. You know, as he mentioned, everything gonna be in the description. And you know, thanks for watching. And we out here, man. Straight sports talk. We out, man. Peace. Go
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you,
Ravens.
Brandon,
Fly.
man.
Thank you
Come
guys.
on,
Appreciate
join
it.
us
No
anytime, bro.
problem.
Hey, yeah, this was dope for real.
Yeah, it was.